After Howard Wilkinson, the man the board had lined up to take over and keep Leeds in the Premier League was George Graham. He promoted David O'Leary to be his assistant and worked extensively in the transfer market to avoid relegation. Wilkinson had broken records for teenager Lee Bowyer, as well as bringing in Palace keeper Nigel Martin. Now Graham added to the defence and Leeds finished mid-table.
He'd won the title, he'd won cups, he'd won European cups. Him becoming the new manager of Leeds attracted a lot of attention.
The attention only increased when David Hopkin and Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank arrived for over £5 million, with Graham offloading players including Brolin, Dean, Dorigo and Yeboah. There was a new spirit and resilience in the squad, something Derby County found out when they came to Ellen Road.
Derby County put 5 past Sheffield Wednesday, 4 past Southampton. A chance here to make it 3 against Leeds in just over half an hour. Asanovic from the penalty spot. It goes from bad to worse for the home side. Powell has been dispossessed. Hopkin, Kewell, Wallace ahead of him. Ribeiro, number 10, arrives. Left foot, deflected. Wallace. Leeds are on the score sheet. Ribeiro takes the corner. Weatherall wins it. Robertson. Oh, it's Kewell. Harry Kewell. 3-2. Kelly will take it. Weatherall arrives. Penalty! Derby players surround the referee, but he clearly indicates that he saw a hand from someone. He's got eagle eyes if he did. Yes, there was a hand there. And has the Leeds pressure finally proved too much for Derby's defence? They look so comfortable at 3-0. But Leeds changing the shape of the game with the 2 goals towards the end of the first half, and now the substitute, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, with the chance to make it 3-3. Well, the stadium clock shows 90 minutes played. Hasselbank for Leeds, marked by Christian Daly. Skips around him, cuts it back, Haaland leaves it. Oh, yes! Lee Bowyer! It's a scoreline of dreams from a team who are 3-0 down. Leeds have won. They go 4th in the Premiership, overtaking Chelsea and Leicester. And no wonder there are hugs of celebration from the likes of David O'Leary. It's a miraculous comeback.
The new look Leeds finished 5th at the end of the 97-98 season with a new look in the boardroom. When the Caspian Group, who owned Leeds, had moved on to new projects, Peter Ridsdale was appointed as chairman.
He admits himself he couldn't believe he was in charge of Leeds United. He'd gone from watching on the Cop to, he always famously talked about queuing for tickets for the 1965 Cup final, and now the crowd was singing his name as if he was a player.
Graham's Leeds had a stuttering start to the next season, and there were more changes, with rumours coming out of White Hart Lane. Press reports claim that Spurs wanted Graham to replace Gross as manager. 10 months after signing a new 3.5-year deal, Graham left for Spurs, and whilst Martin O'Neill was the club's target, O'Leary was promoted with Eddie Gray as his assistant. Leeds were just outside the European places when O'Leary gave a debut to the teenage Alan Smith.
Leeds counter-attack through Kewell. Kewell to Hopkin, all alone, puts in a shot well blocked by Bjornaby, but Leeds equalise through the youngster Alan Smith, virtually his first kick in the Premiership, and he cannot believe it. He's been on the field about 4 minutes. He hadn't had a kick until then, and then he showed his promise with an instinctive goal at the Kop end. What a moment.
The victory over Liverpool saw the season take off. Leeds went on an impressive run, with young players from Paul Hart and Eddie Gray's academy like Jonathan Woodgate, Stephen McPhail and Harry Kewell at the forefront. A fourth-placed finish saw them back in Europe.
Suddenly they had young players that Gray and O'Leary believed in that Graham hadn't really looked at. They were in the side and they were turning in excellent performances.
People say, I worked with the young players and I knew them, that might have helped. But David deserves all the credit because David's the manager at the football club and he put their players in the team.
O'Leary's spending topped £16 million. Michael Bridges, Eric Backer and Michael Dewberry were some of the young promising players to arrive at Leeds as the 99-2000 season started with huge optimism. Despite disappointments against Man United and Liverpool, Leeds were top of the Premier League at the start of October. In Europe, they progressed to the semi-final of the UEFA Cup. Leeds' opponents were Galatasaray, with the first leg at the infamous Ali Sami Yen Stadium, but tragedy struck Leeds on the eve of the game. Leeds fans Kevin Spate and Christopher Loftus were stabbed to death. There were requests for the fixture to be cancelled, but UEFA put pressure on Leeds. Ridsdale relented and the game went ahead. There was no minute's silence and the Galatasaray players didn't wear black armbands. After walking out into the cauldron of an atmosphere in Istanbul, the Leeds players huddled together whilst their fans turned their backs on the pitch and held their own minute's silence.
We couldn't just be this team of exciting young babies anymore. Some real difficult growing up in public at the end of what should have been an exciting season where in January you would have predicted we would have been champions.
Leeds lost the game 2-0, with the team trying to come to terms with the events in Istanbul. The home leg 2 weeks later saw Leeds ban Galatasaray travelling fans as the war of words continued between the two clubs. On an emotional night, Eric Backer scored twice as Leeds drew and avoided a seventh successive defeat. That night saw an improvement in form. Leeds finished third in the Premier League and entered the Champions League at the third round qualifying stage.
I remember being so proud of the players on the day, and you couldn't have been more proud of the club at that point. The way it handled everything, and obviously it just brought everybody together in tragic circumstances. So, and I remember the game after that. I think we might have played Villa first away, and then we lost 4-0 at Arsenal. And it was at that point that I just thought this has really affected them. We went on a bit of a slump, and you did think, well, it's all too much, Not necessarily just the tragic deaths, but just the whole media, circus that was surrounding the club at the time.
Alan Smith had an impressive start to the 2000-2001 season with 5 goals in the first 4 games. 2 of those were against 1860 Munich as Leeds progressed to the Champions League group stage. Leeds found themselves in a formidable group with Barcelona, AC Milan and the Turkish side Besiktas. It bought a guaranteed £10 million, but few gave Leeds any chance of progressing further in the competition. O'Leary continued his transfer dealings with the signing of Mark Viduka, and then the club broke its transfer record for Olivier Dacour. Dominic Matteo also arrived from Liverpool, but league form was erratic as Leeds headed to the Nou Camp to face the hugely successful Barcelona. In front of 85,000 fans, Leeds were beaten 4-0 by one of the giants of European football. It seemed as though the critics had been right and that it would be an extremely difficult campaign. Back in the league, Leeds slipped down the table despite the efforts of a tenacious Lee Bowyer. A week after the humiliation in Spain, AC Milan arrived at Ellen Road. Leeds had injury problems with 4 players named in the matchday squad having never played a first-team game before. The Italians, who hadn't started their league season yet, also had injury concerns, but had a striking partnership of Oliver Bierhoff and the prolific Andrei Shevchenko.
Taken quickly, Lee Bowyer's onside. The header from Backer is just over the top. He is so strong coming onto the ball like that, the tall, powerful Norwegian.
Yeah, but that's clever free kick, bit of disguise, lovely curling ball, a la Beckham if you like. That's a great chance missed. Backer is exceptional in the air, but he's on a run, he's right behind the ball, should never miss from there. Not a player of his ability. But great movement again, great build-up. from Leeds.
Junti on the ball. Shevchenko running free for the first time, stepping inside. Mills, oh! Smashed that, and Nigel Martin got a touch to it. Somehow he helped Shevchenko's cracking shot over the crossbar.
Yeah, that's Shevchenko at his very best. Takes it one over his feet, and that's the hardest shot we've seen all night. That's the first time I think somebody's really got hold of a ball and pinged it.
Bierhoff. Good run by Shevchenko, peeling in behind the Leeds defence. Shevchenko really coming alive here and forcing another fine save from Nigel Martin. It's almost as if he suddenly changed gear here, the Ukrainian.
Yeah, you wonder as well whether the Leeds people are getting a little bit tired, a little bit of lack of concentration. May have gone wide, that shot of Shevchenko's, but Martin can't run the risk.
Backer. Boya. Chances his arm. Oh, Adidas spilt it! And sensationally and wonderfully, Lee Bowyer has scored for Leeds United, and this could be a famous night and a famous victory, and a sad, sad moment for the Brazilian goalkeeper. But do they care? Not one bit. He chanced his arm, and his luck was in.
It's probably the first real shot they've had from outside the box. It's a decent shot, but Clive. Oh. Brazil must have some great defenders if he plays behind them.
Lee Bowyer's shot. Dida's catastrophic error. He had it and then just rather comically let it drop by his shin and into the net. David O'Leary can't quite believe it, but his team are in front against AC Milan. They have a throw-in, but not long to wait. Booed off on Saturday, cheered to the rafters of Ellen Road tonight. Leeds United have pulled off a shock result with a shock goal for Lee Bowyer. Some sympathy from David O'Leary for his opposite number. No sympathy in Milan for Dida tonight, whose error allowed Lee Bowyer to steal the headlines on behalf of 10 other Leeds United heroes. They worked so hard tonight, and hard work can produce the most unlikely rewards. That was how it happened, and this is the final score. Leeds United 1, AC Milan 0.
They'd earned that moment as well, to only be 1-0 down against Milan when it had been 4 in the Nou Camp, showed that they weren't going to give this up. The Champions League was going to be hard in a group with those two teams, but if you're going to be there, you might as well do your best. And maybe it had taken the beating in Barcelona to bring that out of them. I can still remember the moment in the stadium and just feeling, actually, we are on a par with these teams and we can do something more against them. We're not just going to get beaten every week. And then, and from that moment on, the Champions League just became a dream.
Leeds' league form was still a concern, and despite the victory over Milan, the season hadn't really got going. The club and the city needed a performance. The team's talismanic captain Lucas Radebe returned from injury in time for the third group stage game at home to Besiktas.
Good break here, half away down that left side again, and it's slipped in. Bowyer. And Leeds are off to a flying start. A goal they've been threatening here right from the kick-off, and it's Lee Bowyer. The man who scored the goal amid such elation a week ago has done it again.
Yes, Lee Bowyer had to be in the position to do it, but what a ball that is from Ian Hart. I mean, we know he can deliver so well. He had time, enough to get it right, and boy, did he get it right. That is a fantastic supply, and really, in the end, Lee Bowyer, he couldn't miss it. Very brave, committed, and that was definitely going in.
That was Bacco with a flick, not read though by Smith. Umit away. But they look very edgy at the back, Besiktas. Very edgy indeed.
Rescued by Sharonmu, who rode his luck. Kelly now to swing it over. Again, there's no marking. And this time, Viduka has scored. What a magnificent opening here for Leeds. Mark Viduka. No chance this time for Sharonmu, who will be berating the defenders in front of him, or the lack of them.
Well, again, I have to praise the quality of the cross. It was a great ball in from Gary Kelly. Any decent striker worth a salt has got to attack something like that, and Viduka did just that. He had more to do than Boyer, but he did it really well. The header's down, off the greasy surface, wide enough for the keeper, and he's got no chance to get there. What a start.
D'accord. And it's in, yes, it's another one. And Matteo has got it. It's 3-0 to Leeds, and Dominic Matteo is on the score sheet for his new club. An almighty scramble in here.
Well, I think the marking suspect. I mean, D'accord comes short, plays it near post. Lucky break, but watch the keeper. I mean, that's very, very rash. He committed himself, and then as soon as Matteo took it round him, he was a gunner. He's gone the ground, and it's great finishing from Matteo, who's not normally renowned for that. He'll be just a touch happy with that one.
Urban, caught out by Smith, who's so persistent. Now Viduka. Still Mark Viduka, lining it up for Becker! It's another outstanding goal by Leeds United, who are really turning on the style. Becker this time, 4-0, but such hard work put in by Viduka.
Well done, Mark Viduka. I mean, he must be feeling the effects now. He held it up, great composure, always aware that Bakker was there, and although Bakker was falling backwards, he'd expect the ball to go high, just kept his foot over enough to keep it down, and how sweet is that?
We'll never know that, but here's Lee Bowyer with the corner kick. It's a free header for Hart, and turned in by Huckabee! It's 5 for Leeds! Sharonmu, a consummate figure now in that Besiktas goal.
Lightning reactions. I mean, Huckabee's got hardly any room to turn. Might have even gone through the defender's legs when he actually turned it in. But it's brilliant. Instant control, turn on a sixpence, and bang.
Oh yeah, he just has not stopped running all evening. Huckabee. What an engine he has, Lee Bowyer. He's up there again now. Huckabee, he's got Viduka in there, and Bowyer! To round it all off with number 6. Beaming smile from Eddie Gray. And David O'Leary will be absolutely thrilled by his team's performance here.
Well, when Huckabee came on, it was tailor-made for him. Defenders who were all over the place are now very tired into the bargain. They've given up the ghost, and this is brilliant from him. Very direct, positive, and then to get the delivery in like that for Boyer to come in again, as he loves to do, far post, and for the second time of the night, he steals in, unguarded, and an easy finish, and well-deserved, because he's put a phenomenal amount into this evening too, and merits his 2 goals.
Deep into stoppage time, and the referee now has signalled it's all over, and signalled the end of a fantastic night for Leeds United. It's getting better and better and better for them. Leeds United 6, Besiktas 0.
After the thrashing of Besiktas, the league form improved. The return leg in Turkey saw a 0-0 draw and set up a highly anticipated tie at Ellen Road with Barcelona. The facts were, if Leeds could beat the Spanish side, they would qualify for the second group stage, something that probably seemed incredible over a month ago.
Good competitive start to the game. Fantastic noise inside Ellen Road. There always is on the big nights here. Visitors, however glorious they are, know they're in a game when they come to Leeds. And Duchel struggling, and the free kick has gone directly in. Lee Bowyer, a dream start for Leeds. Champions League goals for Lee Bowyer. He's up there with Rivaldo as the competition's top scorer, and Rivaldo himself would be proud of that.
Well, he must love these top keepers, or these top teams. I won't say top keepers. He must love these top teams coming to Ellen Road, because he did the fella Dida of AC Milan, who had a nightmare, and that, for me, is a nightmare from the keeper. I think the keeper's got so many. He's looking for people in the crowd of players where he can intercept it straight off his line.
A dangerous free kick from Leeds' point of view. Lifted in towards Rivaldo! Oh, it's a super stop from Robinson. There's a young guy who's growing up very fast against the world's best striker, who got zest onto his header and required the 21-year-old to plunge at his near post. Here's the corner. He is yet to let in a goal in a game that he started at Ellen Road, Paul Robinson. He'll be tested again before the evening's out, but not this time. Fantastic at Old Trafford at the weekend, and this was a good one.
He made a save similar to this, or not too dissimilar, from Scholes on Saturday. In fact, I think that's a better save, because that was a spot-on header. He gets first in there, Rivaldo, and that was travelling at some pace, and that's a super start for the kid.
Rivaldo's hit it! Oh, it's another world-class save from Robinson. That is a terrific stop.
That might be the best save he makes this season, you know, because Rivaldo's watching him. He's still lining the wall up there. He's not across his goal. And that is a magnificent get down.
Luis Enrique. Oh! That is a sensational save from Alfonso by Robinson. That is a high-class save. Just look at this.
Well, this is phenomenal. I mean, there's no chance. That's a goal. But that is a magnificent save. Great balling, great header, magnificent save.
Danny. Nice touch for Gerrard, through for Alfonso. Teed up for Rivaldo! The flag is up! The flag is up! When the ball finally did squirm past Paul Robinson, Rivaldo found that his effort was ruled offside, and the assistant referee was spot on, and you have to say he's in an active area.
Oh, straight away, the linesman had his flag up well before the ball had entered the net. And you have to also say that Leeds have deserved, if that's a bit of luck, and it complies with the law, of course, but if they consider that luck, they've deserved it.
A line by a heart, that's a bonus. A quilt all over Smith. Wow, and Smith has been penalised. Fortunately, the Norwegian referee doesn't understand Anglo-Saxon. David O'Leary's begging for the whistle. Gerrard. Koku. On by Abelardo. Out by Matteo. Back in by Xavi. Out by Mills. Koku. Oh, against the post! And Rivaldo! Oh! Oh, that's a heartbreak. So desperately unfortunate for Leeds. Gerrard against the post, and Leeds and Robinson, who have been heroic so long, are finally beaten by Rivaldo 3.5 minutes into stoppage time.
Sometimes you can do nothing about anything. That was a great goal, you know, great ball in from Koku. Very good header from Gerrard. You think they've ridden the luck, but this is a super finish. He's done nothing all night except that, and he's done that brilliantly. You feel it's the sort of game both teams deserve to win, Peter. They both put so much into it. But,
well, if you're putting partiality to one side, then you've got to say Barcelona have done enough to get their goal, but how your heart bleeds for that man. that man.
Hey, by the way, this is still a good result if it stays like this.
It's a terrific result.
It's still a good result. The onus is still very much on Barca.
That close to progress in the Champions League, that close to eliminating Barcelona. That man has prevented Leeds from achieving perhaps the most heroic result of their history.
The late Rivaldo goal was heartbreaking for Leeds. It meant that in order to progress now, they had to get a draw from their final group stage away to AC Milan in the San Siro. Dominic Matteo's header sent Leeds through to the second group stage of the Champions League. They finished runners-up to AC Milan and knocked the mighty Barcelona out of the competition. An incredible feat after the heavy defeat in the Nou Camp only 2 months earlier. However, things didn't get any easier for Leeds. When the draw for the second group stage was done, Leeds found themselves up against Real Madrid, Lazio and Anderlecht.